Now next, in this lecture we are going to see Kirchhoff's laws. Okay. Now first and foremost important thing is, okay, certain laws in physics are actually called as universal laws. What are universal laws means? Universal laws are applicable to all situations. For example, if you are taking conservation of energy, your conservation of energy is universal law. Why is conservation of energy universal law? Because it is all the time valid. Whereas if you are taking conservation of mechanical energy, it is not universal law, because conservation of mechanical energy is not valid, okay, when external forces act on the system. Okay, conservation of mechanical energy is valid only when no external force is acting on the system and only conservative forces are acting. Even if external force acts, it should not do work for conservation of mechanical energy. So that is why your mechanical energy conservation is not at all universal law. But Kirchhoff's laws, okay, they are universal laws. Okay, for electronic circuits, Kirchhoff's laws are universal laws. Now, if you ask me in entire current electricity, what is the key summary of this chapter that you are supposed to know means, my answer would just simply say, learn Kirchhoff's law and learn how to apply them. If you learn Kirchhoff's laws and if you learn how to apply them, then you will be able to do any question that is given in the circuits. Okay, any question you will be able to answer in Kirchhoff's laws. So that much important it is, and you will be able to apply. From now on, everywhere you are going to apply Kirchhoff's laws. So that is why I am discussing it. So now your Kirchhoff's laws, okay, your Kirchhoff's laws, okay, these Kirchhoff's laws, there are mainly two laws. Okay, one is indirectly referring to conservation of charge. Okay, that is your Kirchhoff's current rule, KCL, are also called as Kirchhoff's, okay, first law. Okay, so the key thing here is, it is nothing but your conservation of charge. Okay, right? Next, your second law that you have in Kirchhoff's laws is conservation of energy. Conservation of energy. Okay, this is also called as conservation of energy. This is also called as, okay, Kirchhoff's voltage law. Okay, it is also called as Kirchhoff's voltage law, which is KVL. Okay, right? It is also called as Kirchhoff's second law. Okay, right? So now these are the two laws that you have. Okay, here what it says, I will write it in detail. Okay, it says that your current entering a node or junction. What is node and junction? I will elaborate now, but remember that your current entering a node or junction is equal to, okay, equal to current leaving the junction. Okay, it is equal to current leaving the junction. Okay, current entering the junction is equal to current leaving the junction. And coming to your Kirchhoff's voltage law, it is your algebraic sum of potential. Okay, algebraic sum of potential in closed loop is equal to 0. Okay, So this is your Kirchhoff's voltage law. Okay, so hope you are getting my point. What are Kirchhoff's laws? Two laws are there. One is conservation of charge and other is conservation of energy. Conservation of charge is called Kirchhoff's current law, okay, which is also called as Kirchhoff's first law. Kirchhoff's conservation of energy, conservation of charge is first law, sorry, and conservation of energy is second law, which is also called as Kirchhoff's voltage law. What it says is your algebraic sum of potential in a closed loop is 0, and here it says current entering a node or junction is equal to current leaving the junction. Okay, now I will discuss each law in detail, do not worry, but remember from now on anything that I am going to discuss till end of this chapter and till end of electromagnetism. Okay, electromagnetism means this entire unit, all the remaining chapters. After current electricity we will do capacitors, once again after capacitors we will do magnetic field, EMI, AC circuits. For all those topics, once again these laws are valid because these are universal laws. Okay, they are applicable to every situation. Now I will erase this. Okay, so first I will discuss Kirchhoff's first law and what it says I will discuss in detail. Observe carefully. So what is Kirchhoff's first law means? Okay, so first we will discuss your Kirchhoff's first law. So what is your Kirchhoff's first law is what you are supposed to know. So what it says is, okay, current entering a node. I have written the statement previously also clearly, but I will write once again. Current entering a node or junction is equal to current leaving node or junction. So what is the statement? Okay, what will indicate I will tell you, but to know that, okay, you need to know what is meant by node, what is meant by branch. Okay, so you need to know the terminology. Okay, so what is node or also called as junction in some books, no issues. Okay, what it says is, okay, node is, okay, point where, okay, if I am using the word node or junction, okay, what it says is it is a point where, okay, current splits or combines. Okay, current splits or combines. Okay, so now what is the meaning of this? I will to understand better. So if you have two resistors R1 and R2 like this, if I current is coming, if I mark this as point A here, this point A, it is not a node. Okay, why it is not a node? Okay, A is not a node. Why it is not a node means if I current comes like this I will go like this. Okay, your current will start flowing like this. So here you have nothing to comment at all because in this, okay, whatever electrons that are coming, they will go through this wire because wire is only here. So how many electrons will enter? That many. Indirectly conservation of charge is valid. So here my point is at node or junction, okay, your current must split or combine. Here there is no splitting or combining, so this is not a node. Whereas for the same figure, okay, if I connect one more wire here, okay, to the top or to the side here, okay, anywhere, okay, this point A here is node. Okay, node, because this current I, if it is coming like this, it will split into different points, I1, I2, I3 like this, it will split. And what your Kirchhoff's first law says is your current entering, this arrow if you look at it, I is current entering and how much is leaving means I1 plus I2 plus I3. Your current entering this node or junction is equal to current leaving. That is your Kirchhoff's first law. Okay, so usually in the books for fancy figures, what they will do is they will draw this kind of figure. So you'll give some I1 current, I2 current, I3 current here, and it will start splitting into some I4 and I5. So our definition, according to the definition, current entering is I1 plus I2 plus I3, that is equal to I4 plus I5. So your current entering this node is equal to current leaving the node. Okay, so hope you have understood what I have explained. Okay, so this point here is your node. Okay, so this is not a node. Okay, just simply bent one will not become a node. Okay, node means it is a point where current will split or combine. At that node, current how much enters, that much should leave. Okay, so for elaboration how this is equal to conservation of charge, I will show it to you. So now I will erase this and I will try to give the proof of this part. Okay, it is actually not required, but still we do not know how some people will be unhappy. So for them I need to do it. So now here so according to what I have told, I1, I2, I3, I4, I5. Look at the arrows. Okay, so according to your first law, I1 plus I2 plus I3 is equal to I4 plus I5. Okay, so this is my Kirchhoff's first law. Current entering is equal to current leaving. Now I1 I can write it as dq1 by dt plus I2 is dq2 by dt plus I3 is dq3 by dt, that is equal to I4 is dq4 by dt plus I5 is dq5 by dt. Okay, your current definition, as I have discussed in the first lecture, current is, okay, instantaneous current I is dq by dt. Now if you take dt common out and if you cancel off, your dq1 plus dq2 plus dq3 is equal to dq4 plus dq5. So indirectly what is this part means? This part is what? Current entering at that particular instant. Charge entering. It is not current entering. It is charge entering. Okay, in 1 second indirectly you can assume, that is equal to charge leaving in that particular second. Okay, or at that particular instant. Okay, so current entering in is equal to current leaving out. Okay, leaving means out only, entering means in only. Okay, grammatically I think it is wrong, so you cannot say this. Okay, right, so current charge entering is equal to charge leaving. So this is your Kirchhoff's first law and this is your conservation of charge. Now based on this, okay, while problem solving we can use and learn lot of things from these equations. Okay, they will be a lot helpful if you learn these things properly. Now for understanding sake, let us say I am giving you, okay, there is a big branch like this, 1 ampere current is coming, 3 ampere current is there, 2 ampere current is leaving. Here if it is I1, what is I1 value? Here it is I2. Here it is 3 amperes, here it is 2 amperes. What is I3? Calculate the values of I2 and I3. Okay, these are the branches that you have. Now I just randomly took some random figure which came to my mind. Now if you look into this figure, this is A, this is B and this is C. Okay, so A is a node. Okay, A is node. So for a node what happens? Current entering is equal to current leaving. So at node A what happens is, how much is the current entering? 1 plus I1, that is equal to how much is leaving? 3 plus 2. Okay, so I am applying Kirchhoff's first law. Okay, look at the direction of arrows. Okay, right? If I did not mention the direction of I1, then two more possibilities are there once again. Okay, you cannot just simply say because leaving is 5, I1 is, okay, you have to keep the direction like this only, because here how much current is going out? 5 ampere. How much is coming? 1. So it is small. So obviously it is supposed to come in. So we are getting the answer as I1 is equal to 5 minus 1, that is equal to 4 amperes. Now in this figure, okay, in this figure there is a small issue here. I have just assumed the current direction like this. If it is not given, you assume some particular direction, and if you are getting positive answer, your assumed direction is correct. If you are getting negative answer, your magnitude is correct but direction is reverse. So that means in this figure, instead of current coming towards this node, your current is actually going back. Okay, so you do it accordingly. Okay, right? Next, coming to node B. Okay, for node B, what happens is your current entering is 3 ampere, that is equal to, I did not mention about I2 and I3, so I have to go to node C first. So for node C, okay, if I try to calculate the current, okay, 2 ampere and 3 ampere, okay, they are coming. So your I3 direction, I have assumed it, but anything could be there. So it could be going out or it could be coming in. So in my case, your I3 is, I3 plus 2, if I am assuming it is coming in, I3 plus 2 is equal to 3, I3 is equal to 1. Take this back, if you substitute I3 into this 1 plus I2 is equal to 3. So your I2 is 3 minus 1, that is equal to minus 2. So that means here, if current is coming like this, then in this I2, current is not coming this way, it is going up like this, and your value is 2 ampere. Okay, your magnitude will be correct. Instead of this, let us say your current is actually going out. If it is going out, this equation will become what? 2 is equal to 3 plus I, then I will become minus 1. So I don't think it will work out. But in this case, my arrow is supposed to be reverse direction. Okay, I have just randomly took a question that came to my mind. So if you are getting negative answer, magnitude is correct, but direction of this arrow is supposed to be upwards. Okay, right? Next, this is your Kirchhoff's first law. Now, before I proceed further to Kirchhoff's second law, okay, I will introduce the terminology and sign convention. Okay, now an important point that I want you to keep in mind is, okay, anywhere if you see the word node, I told you node or junction means, okay, what will happen here? Your current will split or combines. I splits or combines, okay, is your node. Okay, next, the second thing is branch. Okay, what you are assuming, a branch is completely dependent on your choice, but usually, okay, I will not be specific, but usually, okay, I is same in a particular branch. Okay, usually current I is same. And if you are using the word loop, okay, then if it is loop means it is closed path. Okay, loop indicates it is closed path. Okay, loop is indirectly closed path. Okay, right? So now for example, if I give you a figure like this, how many loops are there in this figure if you ask me? Now I will say, okay, I will write, let me start with this A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. Okay, So your Kirchhoff's second law is what we are going to actually study. But to apply Kirchhoff's second law, first you need to know what is meant by loop. Okay, you will apply Kirchhoff's second law only to a loop. Okay, for you will apply Kirchhoff's voltage law to a loop. So what is loop means? Okay, here there are different loops. Okay, loop 1 is, okay, loops. Okay, if you take A, B, H, F, G, A is loop. Okay, right? And you should not consider, you should not start at B, H, F, G, A, B and say this is a different loop. Okay, still it is the same loop. Okay, so here this loop is one loop. Okay, whether you start at a, loop means your closed path. Okay, and you should land back at the origin. Okay, closed path to initial point. Once again, that is only loop. Closed path to initial point. Okay, to close it, obviously you will come back to initial point. So do not say BHFG AB is a different loop, because your ABHFGA and this loop, if you are starting from A or if you start from B, it is the same loop. It's not a different loop. Okay, here you have only one loop. If you are starting from B, this will not become a different loop. Okay, right? So do not say it is a different loop. Okay, this is your first loop. Coming to your second loop. Okay, your second loop is number 2. Okay, what is your second loop means? B, C, D, H, B. Okay, B, C, D, H, B is your second loop. Okay, and coming to your third one. Okay, your third one is, okay, your third loop is H, D, E, F, H is your third loop. Okay, next, only these 3 loops are there means no. Okay, you can actually consider, okay, only the outer one, that is A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A is another loop, number 4. Okay, with this did it end? No, one more loop is also possible, that is, okay, only this top part. Okay, so B, C, D, E, F, B is another loop. Okay, now one more loop is also possible. All these are different loops. Okay, so first loop, second loop, third loop, only outer layer, fourth loop, and only top part, fifth loop, and then go through this, and then like this it will become one more different loop. Okay, so another loop I can write it as A, B, H, D, E, F, G, A is one loop, and one more loop I can write it as A, B, C, D, H, F, G, A. Okay, so this is also another loop. Okay, so none of these loops are same. Okay, you can go like this and come back to the same point. You can go like this and come back to the same point, or you can go only here and loop. Okay, so loop means, okay, all these are different loops. Okay, but we will only take the obvious ones for calculation convenience. How we will take that we will see in the next class, do not worry. But remember that, okay, a loop means it is a closed path where you are starting, you will end back at the same point. Okay, right? So your start and end will be same for a loop. Okay, so loop is nothing but a closed path. Okay, right? Now I will erase this stuff. Okay, I will continue with Kirchhoff's sign convention. So now we have seen what is branch, what is node, and what is loop. Okay, now, okay, what is your Kirchhoff's sign convention? You are supposed to know. Okay, so if you know Kirchhoff's sign convention, okay, then only you will be able to apply Kirchhoff's voltage law properly. Okay, if you don't apply Kirchhoff's sign convention, then you will obviously get wrong answers. So what is this Kirchhoff's sign convention? I will tell you. If you travel from A to B, you will get your potential difference of VB minus VA. And if you travel from B to A, you are going to get VA minus VB. Okay. So first and foremost important point that I want you to know is your Kirchhoff's sign convention gives, okay, Kirchhoff's sign convention gives, okay, destination potential minus source potential. V destination minus V source. Your Kirchhoff's sign convention will give this. Okay, it gives destination potential minus source potential like this. Okay, right? So your Kirchhoff's sign convention will give you destination potential minus source potential. Okay, right? Next, your second point is, okay, your second point is, okay, it will give you destination minus source potential. Your second point is, okay, across a resistor. Okay, so you can assume this to be your sign convention. So across a resistor, okay, if you are traveling in the direction of current, okay, in the direction of I, your potential drop or rise is minus IR. Okay, and if it is opposite to direction of current, okay, it is plus IR. Okay, in the direction of current minus IR, opposite to the direction of current plus IR. Okay, next, second one, okay, this is across a resistor. Next, across a cell, okay, don't look at the direction of current. Okay, don't look at direction of current for cell. Okay, many people will get confused. Don't look at the direction of current for cell. Okay, so if you are moving from, okay, positive to negative terminal, okay, positive to negative terminal, it is minus E. If you are moving from negative to positive terminal, it is plus E. Okay, so for a resistor in the direction of current, your potential drop is minus IR. Opposite to the direction of current, it is plus IR. Across a cell from positive to negative terminal, it is minus E, and from negative to positive terminal, it is plus E. Okay, so like this you will have your Kirchhoff's sign convention. Now this Kirchhoff's sign convention is very helpful to us in solving the questions. Okay, and for capacitors, okay, later we will see capacitors, but for capacitor, negative to positive to negative minus Q by C, and from negative to positive plate, it is plus Q by C. This anyhow we are going to see in detail in capacitors chapter. Okay, so in this chapter do not worry about any other thing. Okay, so here this much is enough. Okay, copy it down, pause the video clip, copy these things down. Okay, so for this is how you are going to apply your Kirchhoff's sign convention. Now what to do with this, I will tell you. How to apply this Kirchhoff's sign convention is what we are supposed to know. Now coming to your Kirchhoff's sign convention, okay, your first and foremost important example that I usually take often is, if you have a branch of circuit like this, EMF is E1, internal resistance is R1. I have explained about this cell. So this is R3, EMF is E3, internal resistance is R3. This is R2. Let us say EMF is E2, internal resistance is R2 like this. And this is your branch like this. Okay. Now here obviously I don't need to keep internal resistance because I have written it, but still if I keep it, no issues. Let us say this is a big part of the circuit. Okay, there is some big circuit, some hundreds of cells are there, and out of that hundreds of cells you have taken a small part or small branch. Okay, so you have taken a small branch. So this branch I am taking it and separating it. Now after I take and separate like this, okay, so the first and foremost important point is, if I mark this as A, if I mark this as B, if I mark this as C, let us say your current here is I1, current here is I2, current here is I3. Okay, now there are certain things that you are supposed to know. Okay, first and foremost important thing is, what are your nodes means node A, node B and node C. Okay, so you have totally 3 nodes because your current is splitting here. Now here 2 currents are leaving, so obviously I have to keep Ix like this. So at node A, if I apply Kirchhoff's first law, Ix is equal to I1 plus I3. Okay, next here, okay, this is a branch. Okay, what are the branches means? Okay, AB is a branch, BC is a branch, AC is a branch. Okay, so because current is same. Okay, so at node B, if you are trying to apply Kirchhoff's law, okay, so if Iy is the current that is entering, I can write Iy plus I1 is equal to I2. Okay, current entering is equal to current leaving, and if this is Iz, current entering is I2 plus I3 at this node C, which is equal to current leaving is Iz, because from here to here the current is same. Okay, so for this entire branch current will remain same. Okay, so now I have applied Kirchhoff's first law. Okay, now before I apply Kirchhoff's sign convention, okay, what is that I will do is, I will try to calculate what is the potential difference between A and B. Now if you travel from A to B, I told you, you are going to get destination potential minus source potential, VB minus VA. Okay, so VB minus VA. If you travel from A to B, you are going to get B's potential minus A's potential. So here, what is VB minus VA means? Okay, so VB minus VA is, okay, so your VB minus VA is, first I have come across this cell. Okay, for this cell, this is negative terminal, this is positive terminal. So from negative to positive terminal, okay, so it will become plus E1. Okay, from negative to positive terminal plus E1. Okay, minus I1 small r1. Okay, so in the direction of across this internal resistance, we are going in the direction of current. So in the direction of current it is minus IR. Okay, just now I have explained in the previous slide that we have here, I have explained what is your Kirchhoff sign convention. So from negative to positive it is plus E for the battery. For the resistor you have to look at the direction of current. So here if you are traveling from A to B, you are going in the direction of current. So that is, it is minus I1 small r1, minus for the big resistance it is I1 capital R1. Okay, so if somebody is asking you, calculate what is the potential difference between 2 points in a circuit, just simply apply your Kirchhoff's sign convention, and if you are going from A to B, you will get this point potential minus this point potential. Okay, now many people will get confused with Ohm's law. Okay, so usually in the Ohm's law, what is that you are going to do? If this is some point V1, if this is some point V2, Ohm's law is, okay, your Ohm's law is, don't get confused. Okay, V high minus V low is equal to IR. So if current direction is like this, it is V1 minus V2 is equal to I into R. Okay, higher potential minus lower potential. Now if you apply the same here, if you are applying Kirchhoff's sign convention, okay, so it is destination minus source. V2 minus V1. If you are going from 1 to 2 like this, destination minus source, because you are going in the direction of current, it is minus IR. Now V2 minus V1 equal to minus IR, V1 minus V2 plus IR, both are same. So that way your Kirchhoff's law is not violating Ohm's law at all. Okay, both are actually the same, but Ohm's law, it is higher minus lower is equal to IR. Your Kirchhoff's sign convention is from where to where you are going in the branch. If you are going from A to B, you will get VB minus VA. Okay, so you will always get destination minus source. Okay, so do not get confused with the Ohm's law. Now coming to the next part. Okay, next I will travel from, okay, B to C, that will give you VC minus VB. So now if you are traveling from B to C, okay, so minus I2 R2, okay, because it is in the direction of current, minus E2, okay, from positive to negative terminal you are going, okay, minus I2 small r2, because you are going in the direction of current across that internal resistance. Okay, for this cell, longer one is positive terminal, shorter one is negative terminal. Okay, next, if you are going from C to A, okay, if you are going from C to A, you are going to get VA minus VC, that is equal to, okay, first you from C to A, if you are going, first you are getting this cell minus E3, because from here to here while going like this, you have got first positive terminal. So from positive to negative, it is minus E3 against the direction of current, plus I3 small r3 plus I3 capital R3. So your total, this is your potential difference between A and C. Now what is your Kirchhoff's second law is, okay, now you add this plus VA minus VA plus VB minus VB plus VC minus VC, you are going to get 0. 0 is equal to, your Kirchhoff's second law is nothing but, you for a closed loop you apply this Kirchhoff's sign convention like this and make it equal to 0. So if you do so, if you start from A and if you are traveling in clockwise direction, okay, so there is no rule that you should only take clockwise or you should only take in a particular loop. If you are taking anti-clockwise, then do anti-clockwise for the complete loop. Don't do from A to B clockwise and then from B to C anti-clockwise and say, sir, Kirchhoff's second law is invalid. Okay, don't prove physics in the wrong manner. Many people are doing it and I keep telling all the time, in the loop means for the entire loop where you are starting, you travel in same direction, either clockwise or anti-clockwise. Don't change, half they will travel clockwise, remaining half anti-clockwise. In the end, this is, sir, I am not getting the answer. So how will you get the answer? Right? So so if you are simplifying, you are going to get E1 minus I1 small r1 minus I1 capital R1 minus I2 capital R2 minus E2 minus I2 small r2 minus E3 plus I3 R3 plus I3 capital R3. Okay, so this part, okay, everything if you are writing at once, this is only your Kirchhoff's voltage law, okay, which is algebraic sum of potential in a closed loop is 0. Okay, so like this you have to apply Kirchhoff's sign convention and then do the calculations. Now based on this you will have simple basic questions. Okay, so it's not going to be tough at all. Okay, right? So now I am going to use this and do some problems later. Okay, so with this I will stop for now. In the last lecture we have discussed about Kirchhoff's first law and Kirchhoff's sign convention. In this lecture, what is that I am going to do is, I am going to explain some applications on Kirchhoff's laws. So now I told you and I have been telling you that your Kirchhoff's laws are universal laws. Okay, so universal laws in the sense they are applicable to almost every situation. Okay, so universal laws, they are applicable to every situation and they are valid all the time. So now here an important idea that I want you to keep in mind is, whenever you are asked potential difference between different points, try to apply Kirchhoff's sign convention, and if you are asked to calculate currents, try to get the Kirchhoff's first law and second law equations. Okay, so now I will start with simple basic examples. For example, let us say you have a question like this, wherein which you are asked current and potential difference between 2 points of circuit like this. Now here, if you look at this, if I try to apply Kirchhoff's law, okay, so find current through the battery and potential difference between A and B is asked. So now if you apply Kirchhoff's sign convention, as I have mentioned in the previous lecture very clearly, that for a closed loop your algebraic sum of potential is 0. So now if you start like this and come back to the same point, your Kirchhoff's law, if you apply, plus 10 minus 2i minus 6i is equal to 0. Okay, I have started from B, then gone to A, then I have come like this. So plus 10 because I am going from negative to positive terminal, minus 2i across the internal resistance because I am going in the direction of current, minus 6i is equal to 0. That will give you 10 is equal to 6 plus 2 is 8. I is 10 by 8, that is equal to 5 by 4 ampere. Okay, so this is going to be your current. Now if you are trying to calculate your potential difference between A and B, you travel from A to B, you can travel it in two ways. One is through outer resistor of 6 ohms and other is through the cell. So through 6 ohms if you travel, okay, if you apply Kirchhoff's sign convention, you will get destination potential minus source potential. So if you are going from A to B through external 6 ohm resistor, VB minus VI is minus 6i because you are traveling in the direction of current. Okay, in the direction of current across resistor it is minus IR. So that will give you minus 6 times, what is I means, your I is 5 by 4. Okay, 2 2's, 2 3's, so that will give you minus 15 by 2. And if you are doing the same through the cell, okay, if you are coming from A to B, okay, first you are coming, if you are coming from A to B, you have come across the cell. For cell it is minus 10 because you are traveling starting at 10 and that too from positive terminal, so minus 10, and then your current I is flowing against it, so that will become plus 2i, so that will become minus 10 plus 2 times I, that is 2 times 5 by 4, 2 1's, 2 2's, so minus 10 plus 5 by 2, so minus 15 by 2 volt once again. Okay, so now because I have traveled from A to B, destination potential minus source potential. Okay, in Ohm's law it is higher potential minus lower potential, in Kirchhoff's law it is lower minus higher potential. Okay, so with this, okay, hope you have understood your basic Kirchhoff's law. This is your first example. Now next, your second example that I want you to try is, let us say you are given, okay, let us say you are given a 2 ohm resistor here and a 3 ohm resistor here, and let us say you are given a 10 volt cell comma 2 ohm internal resistance for this part. Okay, what is your question is, find, let us say this is I1. No, I will just simply write or ask. Okay, so here instead of 2 I will keep 1. My question is like this, find current through each resistor. Okay, question is simple, find I through each resistor is my next question. Now to solve this question, what will usually people do, I will tell you. Okay, so many people and teachers, what they do is, they will try to calculate equivalent resistance. Here 2 and 3 are in parallel, so that will give you 2 into 3 by 2 plus 3. So what is 2 into 3 by 2 plus 3 means, it is 6 by 5. So that 6 by 5 they will apply Kirchhoff's law replacing with equivalent. Okay, don't do that. Okay, if you do so, then your answer will become lengthy. Okay, always remember, stick to the basics. Sticking to the basics will give you very good understanding of the subject, and it will improve your level of knowledge in the subject. So stick to the basics. Now here my intention is Kirchhoff's law. So now what will I do is, okay, here I will assume some I current is entering like this. Now many people will assume I1 here and I2 for this part, because this point is a node. Okay, first pause the video clip, try the question and then do the answer. Okay, so then you look at the solution. Okay, first trying is the most important thing. Whenever even I give a simple question, stick to the basics and then try it. If you try it, then only you will actually appreciate what is happening, and you will remember. It will like there is some Chinese proverb, famous one, tell me I forget, show me I'll remember, involve me I'll understand. So for you to understand, you have to get involved. Okay, so I am telling you, I am showing you. So here I am telling you, okay, you will forget. If I show you, you will try to remember, but eventually after long time that memory fades away. So only if you involve, then only you will understand. So that is what is actually required. Okay, so I don't want to tell, I don't want you to show, I mean see, I want you to involve. Okay, so involvement is what is required. So involve, pause the video clip, then do the solution. Okay, so now here, okay, if you are thinking logically, do not keep I2, because at this place if you keep I2, okay, what happens is you will have 3 unknowns. Okay, so then having 3 unknowns at this point will make this I1 plus I2, I equal to I1 plus I2, number of equations will increase. So we need to actually solve the equation such that number of unknowns will actually decrease. So if this is I1, then automatically this becomes I minus I1, so that at this node, okay, if you are marking this as your node X, okay, at node X current entering is equal to current leaving. Okay, hope you are getting my point. So now if that is the case, in this situation what exactly happens is that current that has entered into this, okay, what will it do is it will split like this. Okay, I1 and I minus I1. Now you add these two, I1 plus I minus I1 will give you once again I. Now you start applying Kirchhoff's law in the bottom equation once. Okay, I will mark, okay, always mark like this. I will put it with the help of white one. Let us say this is A, B, C, D, E, F. Okay, now how many unknowns means? 2 unknowns. One is I and other one is I1. So to solve unknowns we need 2 equations. So just simply apply that Kirchhoff's law. So plus 10, okay, I am applying it for loop A, B, E, F and A. I am traveling in clockwise direction like this. Okay, so if I start at A, okay, from A to B nothing, from B to E minus 3 times I minus I1, because you are traveling in the direction of current. Okay, then plus 10 for the battery, from E to F nothing, from here across here you have a battery, then once again followed by minus I times 1 is equal to 0. Okay, here in this entire branch you will have I only. Okay, from here to here. Here I1 is coming like this, I minus I1. Okay, your current will enter, these two currents will combine and that will give you I. Okay, so that will give me this equation. Now your second equation is, I will take loop B, C, D, E, B, C. Okay, if I take this loop, in this loop, okay, here also I will travel clockwise direction. Okay, why can't I take anti-clockwise direction? Don't say that, you can take, even that is allowed. So now if you are going like this, from here to here nothing, from here to here you have 2 ohms, so that will give you minus 2 I1, because you are traveling in the direction of current. Okay, what is that I am doing here? I am applying Kirchhoff's second law, that's all. So minus 2 I1, okay, minus 2 I1 plus 3 times I minus I1 is equal to 0, okay. So because from here to here I am going against the direction of current, so that will give me, first if I simplify this, okay, 3I minus 5I1 is equal to 0, I1 is equal to 3I by 5. Now let us substitute this back into this equation. So that will give me minus 4I plus 3I1 plus 10 is equal to 0. Okay, minus 3I minus I minus 4I plus minus into minus plus 3I1 plus 10 is equal to 0. So I1 is 3I by 5. So minus 4I plus 3 times I1 is 3I by 5 plus 10 is equal to 0. So if you simplify, minus 20I plus 9I plus 50 is equal to 0. I have multiplied with 5. Okay. So if I do so, 20 minus 9, if you send it to other side, you are going to get 11I is equal to 50. I is equal to 50 by 11. And your I1 is, from here I1 is 3 times 50 by 11. And your I minus I1, accordingly you can calculate current in each part. Okay. Now if you are asked to calculate your potential difference between different points, for example I am asking your potential difference between B and E. So if you calculate potential difference between B and E, you travel from E to B. Okay, if you are going from E to B, okay, so E to B will give you VB minus VE, okay, destination minus source. I am going from E to B. So what is the value means? It is 3 times I minus I1. Okay, if I go through the middle one. If I go through top, okay, my answer is going to become 2 times I1. Both will of course will give you the same answer for this values. Okay. So like this in different branches you can actually calculate the current. Okay. Now from this example what I want you to understand is, whenever questions are given like this, don't try to take more number of unknowns. Try to reduce the number of unknowns. So for example, here in this example itself, I have taken I here, I1, then this is I minus I1. I did not take I2. If I take I2, I will get one more equation. Even then you will get the answer. Okay. Now this is how you are supposed to do it. Now for example, if let us say you have taken some wrong direction of current, okay, in the middle branch, for example, in place of I minus I1, moving from left to right, let us say I have taken it from right to left, okay, instead of from here to here, I am taking the current direction in reverse manner. Now if you do so, still your answer will be correct only, but in the end you will get that answer with a negative sign. Your answer is not wrong at all. Okay, you are going to get negative answer. Okay, that means your negative answer indicates magnitude is correct but direction is opposite. That's all. Okay, don't think too much. Okay, from left to right, if you are getting positive answer, if you take the variable from right to left, current variable, then you will get negative answer. That's all. Okay, so your assumed direction is wrong but your answer is correct. Okay, so do not worry why did I take left. Okay, obviously because my positive terminal is like this, I have kept the current direction like this. Okay, so I will continue further. Okay, hope you are actually following what I have explained and there are no doubts. Next, coming to the next part, okay, I want you to remember two important results. Okay, what are those results? I will tell you. Now let us say you have two resistors, one is R1, one more resistor is R2, you have a cell or you don't have a cell. Okay, first let's not include the cell part. Okay, now your I current is entering, okay, into the cell. Okay, then what is I1 value, what is I2 value? Okay, simple question. Okay, find I1 comma I2 in the figure, that's all. Okay, now try it, then I will explain the answer. Okay, after you try it, I will explain the solution. Pause the video clip and then do it. I will continue. So now in this example, if you are looking at this, okay, so if you take this point as x and this point as y, at x current entering is I is equal to I1 plus I2. Okay, next if you calculate your potential difference between x and y, Vy minus Vx is minus I1 R1 minus I2 R2. If you are coming from top side, it is minus I1 R1. If you are coming from bottom side, it is minus I2 R2. Okay, now take this I equal to I1 plus I2 and substitute it here. So if you do so, okay, from here your potential difference is equal, so I1 R1 is equal to I2 R2. Okay, so I2 can be written as I minus I1. Okay, so I1 R1 is equal to I minus I1 R2. Okay, so I1 R1 is equal to I R2 minus I1 R2. Okay, so that will give you I1 times R1 plus R2 is equal to I R2. Okay, so that will give me I1 is equal to I R2 by R1 plus R2. Okay, next your I2 is, okay, your I2 is I minus I1, so it is I minus, or you can write it as I2 is R1 by R2 times, from here R1 by R2 times I1, so that will give you I R1 by R1 plus R2. Okay, now very important, this result I want you to remember. Okay, so in a figure like this, okay, on the top branch, what is the current means? Current I into opposite side resistance, how much it is? R2. Okay, I times opposite side resistance, it is R2 by R1 plus R2. Similarly, on the bottom side, what is your resistance means? I times R1 by R1 plus R2. Okay, remember these two results. Okay, so current into opposite side resistance by sum of the resistances. Okay, so it is very important. Okay, please do remember, because sometimes you don't need to apply Kirchhoff's law. If you just simply have these two resistors, you can give the current splitting ratio directly looking at the figure itself. Okay, so based on this, a simple example. Now regarding the splitting of current, let us say you have a 5 ohm resistor, a 10 ohm resistor here, 10 ohm resistor here, and you have connected this to some 20 volt cell, no internal resistance. Okay, now if I ask you to find current through 10, okay, your question is find current through 10. Okay, so current through 10 ohm resistor. Now in this question, okay, if you are taking Kirchhoff's law, I1, I minus I1, and then you have to solve it. that is slightly lengthy. Instead 10 and 10 means if you have two equal resistors, okay, what is it you are going to do? R equivalent is R into R by R plus R, that will give you R by 2. So 10 by 2 is 5, 5 plus 5, 10. If you apply Kirchhoff's law directly, okay, if you calculate the equivalent, this method is not advisable even though it takes time. I don't advise this, but usually it is minus 5i if I current is going like this, minus equivalent is also 5i, that is equal to 0. So that will give you I is equal to 2 amperes. Okay, now if 2 amperes are there, equal resistances, so you are going to get 1 ampere on the top, 1 ampere on the bottom. If you have different resistors, use the formula IR1 by I times opposite side resistance by sum of the resistors. Okay, use that and then try to solve even though you have a different resistance here. Okay, now next, moving ahead to next idea. Next is, okay, an important point, okay, that is your idea of short circuiting resistor. So what is this short circuiting resistor? I will tell you. Now for example, let us say I current is there and you have a resistance R and you have one more loose wire on the bottom like this. Okay, now what is your current on top branch? If you ask what is your current I2 on the bottom branch means, okay, so what happens is, okay, from previous result that I have explained, okay, your current I is current times opposite side resistance by sum of resistors. So that will give you I times, okay, here you have R, opposite side resistance, this side it is 0, no, so I times 0 by sum of resistors R plus 0, that is equal to 0, and your I2 is I times opposite side resistance R by R plus 0, R will go off, you are going to get I. Okay, so from this what I want you to understand is, okay, I1 current is going through top. If you are assuming that I1 is 0, because this is actually, this resistor is indirectly short circuited. Short circuited means nothing but simply connecting by a wire. Okay, so some people will also write here explaining this, they will say current tries to choose, okay, current tries to choose, okay, less resistance path. Okay, that is indirectly electrical inertia. Okay, inertia means what? Opposition, right? So where there is no resistor, there is less opposition, so current will choose that path. Okay, so that I current will, that is entering, okay, what it will do is, I will come like this, okay, and then it will go and join. Okay, so here there will be no what I can say is, there will be no current in the resistor. Okay, even though you have the resistor, it is of not any use. Okay, so this is your short circuiting. Okay, so indirectly when we are using the word short circuiting, that means current, instead of going through that particular thing, it is going through the other part of the wire. Okay, so like this you have to understand your basic ideas. Okay, so with this, hope you have understood, okay, basic logics. Now